There are Reiki schools or other energy techniques that use a method where the student becomes dependent on their teacher, on their master. The student feels forced to follow a specific and rigid path to reach the same point as the master, or to follow the teacher's teachings exactly. But is this right or not? If you don't know me, my name is Berardino Nardella, and I've created dozens of courses on energy techniques and holistic disciplines for your personal and spiritual growth. In the description you'll find a link to my free course, Meditation and its Secrets, where I explain how meditation is actually a genuine energy technique and how you can use it to your advantage. But with that said, let's dive right into the topic of today's video. To learn energy techniques, practice is needed, just like with anything else in this world. The more difficult and complex the thing to learn, the more time, patience, and practice will be required. And just as it's true that if I have someone who knows well what I'm learning and who oversees what I do, gives me advice and guides me properly, I will be able to correct my mistakes more quickly and improve. It's also true that at a certain point I must do it alone. I must stand on my own 2 feet instead of relying on someone else. In this video, I don't intend to judge anyone. I only want to show that dependency is something that doesn't work well, or at least it works well only up to a certain point. Dependency goes against the evolutionary logic we can observe in nature. In nature, we see that any being is born dependent on its parents for a certain period of time. Some more, some less. There are animals that are practically independent from the moment they are born. But the more life becomes sophisticated, the more complex the animal, the more this dependency mechanism exists. Insects lay eggs, so their offsprings must fend for themselves from the moment they are born. However, in mammals, which are more evolved, there is greater dependency. For example, large felines are initially dependent on their mother before becoming the superb hunters they are as adults. Humans are the pinnacle of all natural evolution, and the human baby is completely defenseless at birth. It needs protection from its parents. However, this relationship with the parents must not remain the same forever. It must change over time. At first, it's total. Parents must focus on the child because the child cannot do anything on its own. But as the child grows, it becomes less and less dependent on the parents, until a point where it will no longer need them. So it's necessary for the child to experience certain things, even at the cost of making mistakes, rather than the adult doing them for the child. For example, if a child doesn't walk on its own, they will never learn to walk. If I'm a parent so overprotective that I never let my child try to walk because I'm afraid they might get hurt, the child will never learn to walk. Similarly, if I do the child's homework for them, they will never learn. So, returning to energy techniques, at the beginning, a reference master, a reference teacher is necessary. We need to be guided, but it's also clear that in the end, the student must practice. The student must make mistakes, because it's from mistakes that we learn. Therefore, a Reiki school that forces you to follow a 1 year or longer path can also be useful for a certain point of view, but we must be careful not to create a relationship of total dependency on the master, where we ask what to do for every little thing and every time instead of trying on our own. The teacher helps us. If I do this, I will no longer be able to develop the abilities that I need to truly learn the technique. We could also say that the master, the teacher, symbolically takes on the parental figure, and consequently, the more we continue to cling to the teacher, the more it's as if we are attaching ourselves as children to our parents. As long as we do this, we won't grow. We will remain child students who always need the parent master. That's why it's important to develop our independence, even at the cost of making mistakes. In fact, the true teacher is within each of us, but that true teacher emerges when we become masters of ourselves. That is, when we grow internally. The more we detach ourselves from external reference figures, from figures such as teachers who take on the role of a parental figure, the more the teacher within us, the master within us, will emerge. Let me know what you think about what I've said in the comments, and if you liked this video, I kindly ask you to give it a like to help me grow my channel. With that said, I say you goodbye and see you in the next video.